Hi, my name is Paula Deckers, and I'm the owner of the Northwest Bridal Showcase, and today I'm with Taylor Jamison, who is the catering coordinator for Trails End restaurant in downtown Snohomish. And we're going to talk to you a little bit about food and food service today, and catering, and all the different things that are important in providing food and beverage for your special event or wedding. So Taylor, when should you start thinking about contacting a caterer for your event?
I would recommend doing it just after you book your venue. So the two biggest things you're going to get out of the way right ahead of time are the venue and date, and then your catering. It's really important that you're looking to schedule out about 12 months, 9 to 12 months or so, just because we do book up just about as quickly as venues do.
Okay, so that's interesting to know. I mean, I think most people feel like, they can wait a little bit longer on the food service.
Yeah.
So you're saying definitely by the time you set your date and get your venue set, that should probably be one of your next steps.
Absolutely. You don't want to be stuck not being able to get the date, especially if you're a Saturday summer bride. Those book up really quick.
Right. Summer is a crazy time for weddings. That's absolutely right. So, awesome. Okay, so do you have any tips for budgeting?
We definitely do. I would say for budgeting, when you are contacting a caterer, if you have a budget in mind, make sure that you're sending them the entire budget number. A lot of brides will divide the total budget number by their guest count and then send a price per person off. And sometimes that's not accurate just because of service charges and gratuities and taxes and anything else that you can incur. So it's always good to send out that total number. Also for budget conscious brides, a little bit lower budget. I have a lot of people coming to me saying that they want appetizers only, which are not always budget conscious. They have the same number of ingredients as other menu items, and there's a little bit more labor involved. So they're not always
I know, I think that's
conscious.
really interesting how people always feel that appetizers are going to be way less expensive than a full menu, when in reality appetizers are extremely ingredient intensive and also labor intensive, and so that doesn't necessarily mean that that is going to be a less expensive option for you.
Exactly.
So thank you for pointing that out.
No problem. I always recommend pasta bar for that too.
The pasta bars, yeah.
I do love those.
Those are great. Those are great. They fill people up.
Yeah.
It's good, nutritious food, comfort food. It's great for an event like that.
Exactly.
And it's not super expensive. It can be good for your budget, right?
Exactly.
Awesome.
The other thing I'd recommend for budgeting is asking your caterer when you're getting quotes to send them a quote with all their possible service charges. Just because you never know if you're going to want to tray past champagne toast down the road and you didn't budget for it. The idea of budgeting is to get an accurate example of what your final balance is going to be, and you can't do that unless you get your service charges out of the way.
Right. So make sure to ask about those additional charges, and also how long will the food service provider be staying? What services are they going to provide besides the food?
Exactly. Setup and cleanup is important. A lot of venues differ on what they will help set up and clean up too.
Gotcha. All right. So you say ask your caterer to send you a quote with all potential service charges. That's what we just talked about. Is there anything in addition to that that they should know about?
I would say when you're scheduling a tasting, definitely do that if you can before you're booking. I know some catering companies don't do that. I'm a big fan of a tasting before booking. I think that sitting down one-on-one with a catering coordinator and being able to get that personal experience and vibe, and then being able to also taste the food and just ask those questions. It makes a bride, having done that myself, it makes a bride feel so much more secure, confident in booking with someone, and obviously you want to taste the food first too.
Yeah, you're creating that relationship which between the vendor and the client. It's very important in this whole process. So when I spoke to one of my other caterers, they said it's also really important to compare apples to apples, and I believe what she meant by that was if you are going to go do that tasting, make sure that you're tasting the same food items in comparison, as closely as you can get.
Absolutely. Similar food items are always a good idea.
Yeah. All right. Well, is there anything else that you guys offer that maybe the brides and grooms couples should know about?
I would say so. We do all customized menus. So I have sample menus that we work off of, but I guess for lack of a better term, our menu items are a la carte. So I put together full menus based on the items that you guys want rather than the items that we put together for you. That also saves us the ability to not overcharge, because if you're putting together a package and your entree options are beef, salmon, and chicken and pasta, a lot of companies will have to charge higher for the total prices because the possibility of people picking the most expensive items. So by doing it this way, we're able to save you guys money, and you guys can customize anything you want. And then another thing that a lot of brides run into is rental items, so dishware, glassware, silverware, linens.
Yep.
And being a smaller company that we are just expanding a little bit as far as our restaurant goes and our catering goes, we don't have the space to store those right now, so we don't provide those. A lot of brides think it's a deal breaker to not have rental items through the catering company, but what we're really great for is giving you a list of recommended rental item quantities, being able to refer you to people that are actually going to get you those items within a good price range. It's definitely not a deal breaker.
Okay, so you can help them out even though you may not have that in-house per se.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, and I just have one last question for you. You guys also provide beverage service, is that correct?
We do.
How important is it in the process of the food and the beverage service? I mean, are there any tips you can give on that? Because I know that a lot of brides come and they want to know, should I just serve beer and wine? Should I include, hard alcohol or signature cocktails or, something like that?
Sure.
Can you give us some tips on why that might be a good idea, why it might not be a good idea?
Absolutely. I would say as far as saving money goes, it's definitely going to save money to do just beer and wine. And also, some brides are mixing the champagne toast in favor of better beer or better wine, which is a good idea. Hard alcohol, there's always the risk of more inebriated guests.
Yes,
which,
I've heard that many times.
Yes, which a lot of venues in the Snohomish area are doing away with because of that reason.
They're moving away from their hard alcohol license and sticking with just beer and wine. And I do realize there is a difference. There is a difference in that license.
There definitely is. And we hold a license for being able to do all of that. And our bartenders are all insured. And we've got the liability insurance for the whole company. So bartender-wise, I would say having a friend bartend is a fun idea. However, the liability
absolutely, that
should fall on
liability.
us rather
Yeah,
than on you.
I agree with you 100%.
And then as far as doing kegs and cases of wine, I would suggest doing one white wine and one red wine. And I know it sounds a little strict, but if you're going through a company that allows you to return bottles or cases of wine, you're going to have a more likely chance of being able to do that if you stick to a more pared down menu.
Yep. Well, and I don't think we need to give everybody a bazillion options. I mean,
I've bartended weddings before, and people will come up and say, "Can I get a white? Can I get a red? Can I get a beer?" And that's about it.
Yeah, just make it simple for everybody, including your guests.
Exactly.
So, well, these are fantastic tips, Taylor. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with us today. I do hope that the brides, grooms, and couples will get some fabulous information out of our video, and you can come see Trails End at our show on January 9th and 10th.
Be there.
All right, thank you.